Right, starting off at rock bottom, we're going Burnley, okay? No hate towards Burnley, but I genuinely think they've got no chance of staying up. Now, I think they'll be better than what they was with Company, but I don't know, man. When you look at how good the Premier League teams are now, in terms of the teams that have already been in the Premier League and haven't just come up, I feel like there's such a gap, and I don't feel like Burnley in the window have done enough to stay up. I can't really see where the goals are going to come from, so for me, they're finishing rock bottom. Finishing in 19th, I've gone for Leeds. Again, a newly promoted team. I just feel like it's so hard now for the newly promoted teams to stay up. I do feel like with the tradition of Leeds being a big club, I think they could definitely put up a fight, and I think they have got some decent players, but if we're being real, again, I just don't think they're going to be able to stay up, and I think there's such a gap. Unfortunately, I think they're going to come 19th. And the final team I'm going for to get relegated is going to be Wolves. Now, I feel like we're going to get a team that's going to be relegated this season that isn't just the three newly promoted teams, so I've gone for Wolves. There's a couple of others that I reckon could as well, but I think it's mainly going to be down to whether Strand Larsen can get enough goals for Wolves this season. They've just lost Cunha, and so for me, I think they're getting relegated. And so, just finishing outside of the relegation battle, I'm going to go for Sunderland. Now, I think they've bought really well. They spent a lot of money. They just bought Granit Xhaka, which I think is an incredible signing. Same with Adingra. I really rated him at Brighton. So, for that reason, I think because of the intent and how big of a club Sunderland is with the fan base and that, I genuinely think they've got a good chance of staying up this season out of the three teams that have just come up. But I genuinely could still see them going down. But for the fact that I can see one of the newly promoted teams coming up, I'm going to go for Sunderland and back them to stay up this season. In 16th, I've gone for Brentford. Now, a lot of people are tipping them to go down this season because, of course, they have just lost Thomas Frank, who obviously brought them into the Premier League and did an incredible job. And now they're replacing him with someone who's never managed a club before, only been like a set-piece coach. So can understand why there are some alarm bells ringing around that. And that's not to mention they have just lost their captain Norgard, and they've lost Mbremo, with Wissa looking like he's going to leave. So you're almost wondering, can Damsgaard step up? Can Sharda keep performing and improving from last season? For me, I feel like they've got a good basis of a team, and I feel like they will just stay up, but they could easily be dragged into the bottom three. Next, I've gone for West Ham. Now, I'm a little bit torn and 50-50 with West Ham. I don't know if they'll have a bad season or a good season. In one of my predictions, I was going to put them near the top 10, but I've ended up going for them to go 15th. I think Jad Bowen will do enough to keep them up this season. I don't think they'll be near the relegation battle, but it will be interesting to see if Graham Potter will make it to the end of the season as the manager of West Ham. Next, I'm going to go for Fulham in 14th. I just don't really see them improving too much more. I think maybe Silva will be gone after this season, and it wouldn't surprise me if they push towards the top 10, but for now I'm going to put them in 14th. In 13th, I've gone for Palace. I don't think they'll have a bad season just with Europe. I don't think they'll be in the top 10. I think they'll struggle a little bit. I think Mateta is going to be a key player for them along with Ismail Assar, but it looks like Eze's going to be leaving this summer, and also Gueye. So yeah, that's the reason why I've not gone for them too high, but also not too low, because I do still feel they've got a good team and a good manager. Up next, I've gone for Bournemouth. Now, I still feel like they've got a good team, but when you look at the players they've lost, they've just lost Howson, they've obviously lost Kirkez and Zabanyi. I just feel like Bournemouth have lost quite a few players, so I feel like there'll be a bit of a drop-off, but I still believe Bournemouth have got a very good manager still in Iriola, and they've also still got a half-decent team. Obviously, Semenyo are getting goals, Evan Nielsen's a very good striker, but I do feel like they'll just miss out on that top 10. In 11th, I've gone for Nottingham Forest. I do feel like they have a bit of a drop-off this season. They have just lost Elanga, but they've done incredible to keep players like Gibbs White this season. Obviously, he was very close to joining Spurs, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, Nottingham Forest were suing him. Obviously, they've got Europe to think about this season, but I don't think they're going to be in that top 7 again. I do feel like it'll be 11th for them, and the teams above them will just be better. So into the top 10, and we're starting off with Everton. Initially, I did have them finishing 15th or something, but I just feel like they've made really good business. They've obviously got Ndiaye, they've just brought in Jack Grealish and Dewsbury Hall, and I feel like they're both going to be incredible additions to that team. I really do believe it will all be about the striker for Everton, whether that's going to be Better or Barry, who they brought in. If Everton can get goals this season, which I feel like Grealish will be creating along with Dewsbury Hall and Ndiaye being a threat, I do feel like they could get into the top 10 this season and surprise a lot of people. For now, I'm going to put Brighton 9th. I feel like that could change if they lose Baleba. I think that'd be a massive loss with already losing João Pedro. But with Brighton, I think it'd be really interesting to see how they replace those players, and often, more so or not, they do seem to replace these players. So I'm going to back them and put them 9th for now. Into the top 8, and I'm going to go for Aston Villa. Now, I do still feel like they've got a very good team. I really do rate Emery and the job he's done there. But if you do know Emery, he does love to win a Europa League, and they're in that competition this season. So I do feel like they're going to prioritise that over the league when you come to the second part of the season. So I feel like they'll just miss out on that top 7 for that reason. Of course, they've still got great players like Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins, so they could easily get into the top 6. But I do feel like they will just miss out with them focusing on Europa League. At least I feel they'll do that. At 7th, I've gone for Newcastle. Now, I feel like they're going to lose Isak this season. Still feel they've got a very good team, so I will put them in 7th. But they've also got UCL to think about. So with Newcastle this season, it could go very well, but it could also go very, very bad. And I'm not sure what way that's going to go at the minute, but I'll put them 7th. Now, am I being too kind with Tottenham? I've gone for them at 6th. It will be difficult for them this season with Champions League, but I really do believe in Thomas Frank. I do hope he doesn't win many trophies at Tottenham, as of course I am an Arsenal fan, but I still do see Tottenham doing well, and I feel like the signings they're going for look very exciting, and they've obviously already got Kudus, so things are looking decent for Tottenham, and I'm putting them in the top 6. At 5th, I've gone for Man United. Now, the main reason I'm going for them in the top 5 is purely because they've got no European football, so I fully expect them to be in that top 5. They're going to be well rested, and they have spent quite a bit of money this summer. However, I do feel like they overpaid a little bit for Sesko. I mean, they've got a striker in, and I do feel like he is a good player, but I don't think he's worth the money they paid for him. And in my opinion, I feel like they should have been signing a goalkeeper this summer. If my goalkeeper was Onana, I'd be replacing him. Also, with their centre-backs, you look at Martinez as one of their best ones. He's hardly ever fit for Man United. Euro's too young. In my opinion, I would have gone and signed a centre-back as well. And it looks like they could sign Baleba for 100 million. Whether they've got that money to spend on him, I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if Man United. But all things considered, I'm going to put them in 5th place. Their signings ain't terrible. Into the top 4, and we're starting with Chelsea. Now, I feel like they should get top 4 this season. They've obviously just won the Club World Cup, and they do look like they're a well-gelled team at the moment. A lot of their signings are looking like really good players. Esteval looks really promising, and of course, João Pedro is in incredible form at the minute. So I do feel like this season Chelsea are going to be a lot closer to that top 3, but I don't think they will be in that top 3. But Palmer is going to be an incredible player for them, and I do feel like Chelsea will definitely get top 4 this season. Now, in 3rd place, and this will come as a shock to a lot of people, I've gone for Liverpool. Now, I promise you, I'm not brain dead. I do watch football, and I understand they've signed a lot of incredible players this summer. They've had the best window, okay? Wirtz is an incredible player. He's going to be one of the players of the season. Frimpong's a good signing. They've obviously got Kirkes. However, they are the favourites to win the Premier League heavily. But I just don't think they're going to win the league this year. I've just got a feeling, and I'm going to stick with my gut feeling. I'm not going to be that guy that goes, oh, Liverpool are the favourites. I'll go for them because they're the favourites and I'll probably get it right. No, I'm going to go with my gut feeling, and I just don't think Salah or Van Dijk are going to be as good as last season. I feel like they could have a drop-off, and if that happens, I just don't think Liverpool will be as good. I think they've definitely got an incredible team and they will be competitive. And it wouldn't surprise me if they won a league. They definitely can win the league. I'm not disputing that. But in my opinion, I just don't think it's going to be them this season. Now, in second, I've gone for Manchester City. I really like the signings they've made this summer. I think Reinders is an incredible player. Cherki's really good. They're also linked to Rodrigo potentially coming in. And they've already got Marmoush and Haaland. And if Haaland hits this season, I'm sorry, but if Haaland hits, Man City are definitely going to be in a title race. He's honestly one of the best strikers in the world still. And so, for me, I do feel like it'd be Man City and Arsenal in that top two. Liverpool could easily be coming first. But I don't know what it is. I just feel like Man City this season are going to cook. I really do think this is going to be a good year for Man City. So yes, that means I've gone for my team, Arsenal, to win the league. I'm backing us to win the league this year. I really do feel like it's going to be the season. I know we say this a lot as Arsenal fans, it's always going to be next season. I really do feel like this is the year. When you look at last year, we had a lot of injuries. This year, we've got all our players back. No Gabriel missing, no Saka missing. And most importantly, we've added the striker. I've been saying it for ages. As soon as we get the striker, we're going to win the league. Because these low block teams that we're struggling to score against, now we've got a Gyökeres who can just bang in a goal. Also, I think Zubimendi's an incredible signing, but I just believe this year is going to be Arsenal's year. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you would change.